Turning on your cameras.
Yes,
We
let's
got
see your
Steve and
faces.
Linda. Ray. Hi, Ray. How are you?
Hi, fine. How are you?
Good to see you.
Hey,
Nonette.
Carolyn. Hi, Christy.
Hi, good.
Hello.
There's so many new
Good.
names and
Familiar
familiar
faces.
faces. So welcome everyone. Um, we are Opal Equity. So I'll do a quick introduction of us and who we are. We are Opal Equity, and it is comprised of myself, Carly Grundmann, Karolyn Briley, and Christy Schnurle. We'll do a
Formal.
an introduction in here. But while we let's get this party started. How many of you guys, I'm just curious, like how many of you guys have invested in multifamily or have goals to invest in multifamily? Put like a up. Linda's got her hand raised. Love it. Dallas has her hand raised. Look, you guys are in the right place. Steve Allison. So you guys are in the right place. We're going to show you three ways, few ways we've done. So we are going to get this party started. I'm going to pull up our slides, but first I'm going to hand it off to Karolyn Briley.
Me?
Hello. Yes. Yes, you.
Moi?
Yes.
Okay, are we doing intros now? That's
We're going to do some intros. So let's start with you. I'm going to get our slides pulled
okay.
up.
I love that. Yeah, Christy is our president, so we'll save her for
Best for last.
last. Hi everyone. I'm Karolyn Briley. I am based here in Dallas. By the way, thank you so much for showing up on a Thursday night. I know everyone has chaotic schedules and kids and life and W2s. And if you're at your W2, we're not going to tell. So thank you for being here. Um, I'm based here in Dallas. We've lived here for over 10 years now. Started in real estate over 4.5 years ago, which feels really wild to say, and like the journey that I've been on for the past few years. So full time, got into real estate. Obviously, we went into single family, acquired properties with creative finance. And then that really opened the doors on how we could acquire multifamily. So in 2022, I got to see an amazing woman, Vina Jetty. If anyone's familiar with her, throw a one in the chat. She's incredible. I got to see her speak on stage, and she totally blew my mind open about the possibility and potential and just the overall wealth building of what multifamily is. So that started my journey in 2022 officially. And by the end of that year, I would say it's probably 3 years, just past the date of 3 years, where we closed on a 30 unit on seller finance. And then 2 months later, we closed on a 40 unit. So all that to say, I went from basically 0 doors to 70 doors within 1 year, plus a handful of single family, because I was taking action and getting my feet wet and learning all the things in multifamily and using creative finance to do that too. So since then, I've done a few fund of funds. I've joined with these amazing women here in Opal Equity. And now I am over 600, just over 600 doors that I am partnered on. And that is the incredible wealth building machine that multifamily has to offer, and we're going to dive into tonight. So that's a little bit of my backstory. I'm also very much into mindset and like your spiritual well-being and how all of those things tie in together, because if we don't have all the things going on up here and in our bodies aligned and right, how are we expected to fulfill our potential? How are we expected to grow beyond our limitations that we have in our brain? So that's all that I'm about. And I'm going to pass it over to Carly, and she'll share her story.
Hi. Well, thank you, Carolyn. I'm
Yeah.
Carly Grundmann. I recognize a lot of faces in here. But I have been in real estate for over 13 years. I was in the going to the bank and buying and holding and renting out. Got my first house from the bank, bought it from an auction. And in the last 3 or 4 years, I got into the creative aspect. I got involved with, how many of you guys know Pace Morby? Got involved in the Pace Morby community, and I'm lucky enough to be able to work with him and partner with him. And through those communities, I got to meet some of my besties for the resties, two of which happened to be Christy and Karolyn. We met at Vina's. um, well, I met Christy at Vina's multifamily event, and we just kicked it off. And we all had similar goals. So it was so exciting to partner with them to create Opal Equity. We'll talk about that in just a second. I also have something called Building an Empire, where I document everything I do and I help others. I want to help others go to where I have been. And so I document things. I help a deal room. I do all this stuff because I'm like, I wish I had someone like me to be like, here, you can do this. Let me help you hold it accountable. So something that Christy and Karolyn and I do, that's for another Zoom to talk about. But we want to show people how we do and earn while they learn. So that's something else that I do. And so I love the newbie space, and my goals are to get into multifamily and bring others with us. So, and without further ado, our president of Opal Equity, Christy Schnurle.
Hello, I'm happy to have all of you here with us tonight, spending your time with us in the evening. I know it's not the easiest, so we are grateful to have you here. So I'm Christy Schnurle, and I've been in the multifamily space for, I think it's almost 18 years now. I started in acquisitions, working, actually I helped institutional level investors invest. So I was a part of $300 million worth of fund transactions and closings for 5 years as part of acquisitions. So I did underwriting, due diligence review, partnership negotiations, all of that stuff. But we did that with institutional level investors. So that means all the big banks, the insurance companies, all of that. So that's where I kind of dipped my toes in, got started with multifamily. After that, I started working with my family business. My father had started a consulting firm, CDK. We've been around for over 20 years. Last decade, I've been working there. And what we do is we are consultants and we help multifamily developers to build more cost-effective projects. So we've now, I think, participated in over $1.5 billion of construction costs. So what that means is we've managed those costs, helped them to reduce and to bring those projects online. That was across, I think, about 55 projects now, multifamily and hospitality. And then last year, I decided to kind of pull a lot of this knowledge together, and I really wanted to step into a space that was new for me, and that was capital raising. So I was really excited about that, but I wanted the right partners. And so the three of us got together and we started Opal Equity. And the goal there was really to get into multifamily in a more active way and to help be that bridge for people. Like I said, I spent 5 years helping banks and insurance companies get even richer and do well with multifamily. But that should be accessible to all of us, right? As everyday people. And so that was really the goal with Opal Equity, is how do we bring more of these opportunities to people? You know, people know they can invest in the stock market, but it's not as common to think about, oh, I could also put my money into real estate, or more specifically into apartments, right? Commercial apartments. So that was really what brought all of us together, and more specifically, the fund to fund strategy. So what that means is we put together a fund, we pool investors together, and then we invest into other really high level operators that have a long track record, that have been doing this for a long time. So we personally love that approach because it's very scalable. We're able to like ride the coattails of people who have been owning and operating large commercial multifamily projects for a long time. And that is something we've become passionate about doing. And then also, as Carly mentioned, you know, all three of us love to teach. We love to be out there in the community, to educate, to share what we're doing, just document what we're doing. We're open books over here. And that's really the heart and the mission of Opal Equity, is not only to help passive investors, but to also just help anyone in general who is interested in multifamily, wants to learn about multifamily in whatever capacity. We're here to help you learn while you earn. So that's a little bit about us. And we'll touch on a little bit more at the end, but just as some housekeeping, we have started doing these Zooms, and we're now getting in touch monthly. So we've done I think 2 now, and networking Zoom. So if you haven't been to those, you're welcome to join us each month. We're doing a live networking Zoom called You're a Big Deal. And the next one is actually be on Halloween. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we also are doing the Zoom tonight is more of an educational Zoom. So this is about us trying to help educate, help showcase some of the things that we know, help you guys if you have questions. We definitely have, an organized topic, but it's designed to also be interactive, and we want to hear from you. So if you have questions, we love the interaction. We feed off energy. So if you have things to say, throw it in the chat, raise hands, especially at the end, we'll have an opportunity for Q&A. But you'll be notified each month of these, and we'll continue to have some of these educational ones along with the networking Zooms as well.
Amazing. Thank you, Christy. Okay, thank you for listening to our little intro. First, I want to kind of take a poll. Anyone in the chat, just throw 1 if you're currently in the single family realm and you're thinking about bridging over to multifamily, or like you're just totally focused on multifamily. 1 for single family, 2 if you're like completely, I'm going all in. I'm like zoning in. It is close to the end of the year and I am honed in on multifamily. I love that. Okay. Love it. Love it. Steve, Sandy say I'm all in on multifamily. I love this. Thank you for giving me some feedback here. So yes, why multifamily? We have multiple reasons, and this slide really speaks to me, especially the first one, because this is why I bridged over so quickly back in 2022. We had just gotten into real estate in 2021, did not know a lick of anything. And let me tell you, that's like not for the faint of heart when you don't know anything and you're like all in, like, hey, we quit our jobs and like, let's just show up and do real estate now when you don't know anything. So we started getting an education at the fall of 2021. And by the beginning of 2022, my mind started reeling and like piquing interest with what is what is the power here? Because there just seems like all this effort that I'm putting into these single family properties. And don't get me wrong, I have a handful of single families, but it's like 3 hours that way, 4 hours this way, all these different things. And it's just like you're juggling all these different properties. Tell me, does anyone resonate with that? Like you feel the pain of like, I have to look in every north, south, east, west direction to like keep up with my single family rental properties, right? So when I saw and started thinking about multifamily, I'm like, okay, this is scalable. This is, you're not just trading your time for one door at a time like you are with single family. With multifamily, you're building that scalable wealth, meaning like your effort is compounding across 20, 50, 100 units. So like I said in my intro, I compounded all that time and focused and got a 30 unit within 6-7 months of really buckling down and learning about multifamily. It took a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It took a lot of calls, a lot of learning and failing, but 30 units in 7 months of just like zoning in. Think of like, would I have been able to accomplish 30 single family doors in 7 months on my, like, obviously we had a team, right? But like, that's not an easy feat. That's not an easy thing to do, especially with single family. So me moving my gears and understanding the scalability of like, why wouldn't I just apply that energy and willpower and education and investment and everything towards something that's going to compound? Why would I want just 30 units right there and everything is there, right? And so, and we often say like, I mean, go big or go home, right? 30 units is great. 40 units is amazing. Anything that you can accomplish is amazing. But like, we always say like, oh, we want like over 100 doors or like over a certain threshold of number, because you're already putting in that effort anyway, and you're just scaling from then on, right? So that's my big one there of like, why wouldn't I just put my energy into building that scalability in a wealth building machine that multifamily is? Secondly, there's obviously cash flow. You're not just cash flowing on a single asset. You're not just like, if you have a single family property and your tenant moves out or you have to evict them, that property is not cash flowing any longer, right? With multifamily, you have multiple people renting from you. And so one unit that doesn't have anybody in it paying rent doesn't feel like so much of a burden anymore. Obviously, you want to rent it out, but you are offset by everyone else renting, and you're still cash flowing the property and helping you level out that major wave that you might feel with single family, right? Also, the tax benefits. When you buy an apartment building, you're not collecting rent, you're leveraging the depreciation, the write-offs, the cost segregation to keep more of what you make. Is there anyone in here who is like, it is the end of the year, I am zoned in on thinking about those tax write-offs, right? Like, I need to put my money, park my money into something that is going to write me off all this money. Yeah, exactly. So also recession resistant. So we are in a really weird market where people are still selling their home, but people are always going to need a place to live, even in a downturn. And that's where multifamily shines. It's proven time over time, year after year, that it is recession resistant. People are always going to need that place to live. There's always going to be an uptick in rent, and it's appreciating, it's not depreciating, right? And lastly, this is a team-based game. Obviously, I have an amazing team, and I would highly, highly recommend it. Like when I first started in multifamily, we didn't have a team. Things change and we grow and evolve, and you get to learn, you find your ropes and you find your people. And I feel very lucky and honored to find these two amazing women as part of my team, because we get to do so much together. We get to do so much on our individual own and like where we really shine and thrive in our multifamily seats, and that we'll go into, but also like we get to like tap into the potential of our hive mind together. And it's not something you want to do solo. You could do it solo. If you are a lone wolf or a recovering lone wolf, you know this feeling of like, I would just rather do it on my own. I know how to get it done. I would rather not have to depend or rely on someone else because I know that I'm going to do it the way that it needs to be done. And what's the saying? If you want to go far, or if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And that's exactly what that means. This is a team sport. Every successful multifamily deal is just built on collaboration, from your investors to your operators to your asset managers. Each person is playing to their strengths. So that's for that slide. Let's move to the next one. Who agrees there? I love this. Okay, so within multifamily, there are the 3 pillars. Has anyone heard of these 3 pillars before? Whether you're beginning, and it doesn't matter. Please speak up. If you have a question, please throw it in the chat. You understand that these are the 3 pillars. If you're learning something new, I'm happy that you're here. 3 pillars of multifamily.
Drop a 1 if you've heard of this. Drop a 2 if this is new and you're excited to learn about what these pillars are. It kind of helps us too as we're going, so we know how, like, where we should be educating at what level, right? And going forward. So give us a little of an idea if you can.
Love it. So we get a little mix here of people who are learning this for the first time and people who are pretty familiar with it. So let's do a refresher course. 3 pillars of multifamily. The first pillar is capital raising. You're focusing on investor relationships. You're presenting the opportunities. You're communicating the risk. These are, like it says there, ideal for networkers, storytellers, educators, right? These are your people who are ready to get out there and network, and like they're buzzing and vibing and like making contacts, and like you're not skittish by putting yourself out there. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's people out there who feel intimidated or maybe not feel so comfortable with capital raising, there's absolutely room for you too. Absolutely. There's always room at the table for people who are wanting to flex their muscles and build a new skill. So capital raising should really generally be a skill for everyone to know. Like, you need to learn this immediately, whether you're actively raising for multifamily or you're in the single, whatever your space you're in, knowing how to capital raise effectively and build a team that also has their own way of capital raising. Because when you get a team like us, like a 3-person team, we each have our own way of communicating. We each have our own. Christy's really great on LinkedIn. I really love Instagram. Carly might show up on Facebook more. You know, like, we all have our own way of really dialing in how do we speak to our network, our potential investors and everything, and keeping up with that aligned communication. So that is the first pillar. The next pillar is acquisitions. This is all about you're finding the deals, you're vetting the deals, you're underwriting, doing due diligence, negotiating the purchase price. I'd say in the very beginning days, in like when you're thinking in that role of acquisitions, this kind of flowed over a couple people on a team. It can definitely be one single focus for someone. If you're like an integrator or someone who really loves to be behind the scenes and just dialed in on a spreadsheet or like doing numbers and can really crack out those things fast and not have to wear their energy out necessarily by like talking on the phone and communicating and like networking, raise your hand if you're that girl or that guy or whoever. I saw gal in the chat and I said that. Yeah, I am not your numbers gal. Yeah, exactly. Christy is more of our numbers gal. Even I think she's like a learned numbers gal. I don't think that's where she necessarily wants to be all the time, but she is the math whiz of our trio. Let's say that.
She is.
And that's very much needed, right? That's very much needed. We need someone to be able to find, like, Chris or Carly and I can go out and find and vet a deal, but underwriting and due diligence and like getting into the nitty gritty details, that could be that's Christy's lane in that way.
I mean, we could do it.
We could do it. Absolutely.
We could, but Christy's way better at it and probably faster.
That's
and more efficient.
She's like, dang it, you guys, you're putting me in a corner. But yes, that's the thing. We could do it, but should we be playing to our strengths more, right? And that's the beauty of a team. You really get to hone in on what your strengths are and get to flex your muscles, but still pick up the things here and there. These two talk back and forth about CRMs and funnels and all these things. And I'm just like, okay, I'm here for the ride and I'm here to make it pretty, but don't tell me to go and set up an automation in a CRM. Like, you will have the automation shut down if I'm in there. And that's okay. And they know that, and they love me for it still. And I love them for it and all the things. Anyway, that is acquisitions. If that speaks to you, I'm sure you're like, yes, that's my lane. I would love to just be behind a computer, like ghost underwriting, and no one has to see me in person, right? Then there's lastly, operations, the third pillar. This is managing the asset and the teams, budgeting, reporting, problem solving, protecting your investors' money. So this is someone who is more of like, kind of has like a little bit of a hybrid personality, who can be very good at like networking and being in front of teams, because this is a very like face-to-face type of role too, of being with your team and communication and getting the job done and being effective at it, while also understanding the numbers behind it. And what does that translate to when I go and tell my team to do something at the property? How is that reflecting in our P&L or financials or whatever that is? So it's very much like a dual type of role. In my opinion, it takes that person to be good on both feet, so to speak. So it says ideal for system thinkers, communicators, detail focus. So this is very, yes, you need to have that blend if you're going to really shine in something that's acquisitions like that. my slide disappeared, but those
I will put it
overall
back.
are
That
the-
was my
You're
fault.
fine,
I'm
you're fine,
sorry.
you're good. Those overall are the, okay, I love this. Anna says 1 and 3. Okay. Sandy, this is me. Did you mean operations, Sandy? Okay, got it.
That's
Love
when
that.
she did that. And I
Okay,
saw
cool.
Linda raise her hand. She was saying she's a little bit of a combo.
Yeah. And that's it, like I said, this is not just like solitary, you have to stick to your lane and this is your role once you're in it. Like I said, every single one of us know and understand how to capital raise to our own strengths. Some are heavier in acquisition bucket, some are heavier in operations bucket, but it's never like you're just assigned to that role and that's that. This is to give you a very good understanding of the core pillars that it takes to break into your multifamily space effectively and understand those elements and how to like help you pick your lane, help you find your quote unquote avatar in that, right? And go from there. So that now we're going to dive into what exactly does that look like within there. I think Christy will kick us off here.
All right. So yeah, so those were the pillars. And that's just kind of to give you guys a foundation, as Karolyn said, so you can understand the different roles. Now we're going to move into, there's kind of, from our perspective, there's these like 3 key ways that you can play in multifamily deals and that you can participate in them. So the first one we're going to go over is the GP. That's the operator, that's the sponsor. This is the most active way, the most labor intensive, the most like, I would say traditional, like when you think of a multifamily deal, especially a lot of the people who might be in this room right now, I know we have a lot of very active investors who actively operate their own portfolios of single family and other types of real estate. It's like this is probably the main way that you think about participating in multifamily, right? It's like you have your hands in it, you're finding the deal, you're raising the capital, you're negotiating everything, you're operating it, you're pulling all the pieces together. So that would be, and these are all different terms. Multifamily is like, I don't know if everyone just got together in the beginning and they're like, let's make this the most confusing thing to try to get into and let's make up a bunch of words for everything. So there's a lot of terminology. So when we do these, part of the goal of these Zooms too is to start, for people who aren't familiar with it yet, to get you guys comfortable with the terminology. So we're going to throw out quite a few so you start to realize that some of these, they don't mean exactly the same thing, but for purposes of right now, they're close enough, right? So you have like a GP or a general partner or an operator, a sponsor, lead sponsor, parent sponsor. Like these are all words you might hear in different contexts, and they're all describing the same kind of a thing. Like basically, like those are the people that are in charge of the deal, actively running the deal. So you're controlling it, you're determining how is money being made on this deal, how are you paying investors if you have investors in the deal. You're gonna very actively, like this is where the 3 pillars that Karolyn covered are super important because you really are going to have every single one of those present here and they need to each be strong. Like if your acquisitions is weak, it's gonna be really hard to find a deal and to get a deal under contract, right? To close it, to even get it in the first place. If your capital raising is weak and you need that capital to come in to fund the deal, it's gonna be really hard to get the deal done if you don't have investors. And then if your operations are weak, that's probably the scariest one because some people will be front load and they're good at finding deals. They get something under contract, they raise the capital. And then if they don't have that operations piece, then your reputation is on the line, your capital, your investor capital is on the line, and your career in multifamily will likely be very short-lived and you will cause a lot of damage. So that was one that is arguably probably one of the most underestimated and also the most important. Like you want to make sure operations is super solid. You have someone experienced or you're partnered with someone experienced that can help lead and if things are kind of going off the rails or as you hit new situations. That's where like a network is super important. Having communities around you of people so you can bounce ideas and strategize and make sure that you're really delivering the deal to your investors that you walked into it thinking that you would do. This also has the longest time frame. So in the beginning, there was kind of on the previous slide, there was this like image of a mountain. And the way that we envision this is that like the GP is like scaling the summit. Okay. Like you have this long, treacherous, hard road going up. You're going to be helping each other. It's rocky. Sometimes you're going to want to cry. The view is beautiful. Like it's going to be rewarding, but you're going to be exhausted by the time you get there. Like it's just, there's so many pieces. You're doing all the work, right? But you also have this beautiful reward at the top. Like you're getting all the way to the top. So that's this path. It's definitely the most intensive from a time perspective from like all of the things. But it also is, incredible once you get there. So what do you need for this? What's important? So one is capital or strong partners who have it. So this one I don't think is talked about enough, but in order to be a responsible GP and operator and sponsor, you really should, your team to some capacity should have skin in the game. It shouldn't be all investor capital that is at risk. And even if it was, there's likely probably a lot of things you're going to be funding up front. And you need to be aware of that because the cost of getting into a deal yourself, the legal costs, the due diligence costs, they're in the tens of thousands of dollars. And then as you scale up into much larger assets, you could be talking like $100,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Of like earnest money, all of the things, all of the different fees that you pay before you even close, and you're earning your own fees. So capital is really important, whether it's yours or other people you're partnering with, having a plan with how you're going to pay for those things and being able to show investors that you do have skin in the game and that you're not relying on them to just put in money. And if things go south, like showing that whatever you're putting in, you believe in as well, that you're also at risk, right? Team and mentors, I touched on that briefly. It's really important to have a strong community, a strong network around you when you are owning and operating assets like these, because things are going to come up. So having those people you can turn to be able to ask how to navigate and move through different situations is really important. Education and confidence, again, like the education piece is huge in multifamily. Just learning the terminology, understanding how things are structured. It's run as a business and valued as a business. So it's different in that sense. If you've only been in like the single family home space real estate, this type of real estate is very different. So educating and understanding the differences of how this works, how are these transactions, like what are they going to be looking at, is really important with that. And then time and grit. Like I said, this is the highest peak that you're climbing. Having the perseverance there to be able to do it, having those people around you, because, Karolyn saying in the chat over here, sometimes I want to cry all the time. So
For sure.
that's kind of the GP in a nutshell.
GP is like you're at the top of the summit. It's not your first rodeo. You've done things before. It's good to do other things before a GP. So
yeah, or at least be partnered. If you're doing
yes,
GP role first, make sure someone else is on your team who's
yes.
done it before. You don't all want to be brand new and blind leading the blind and trying to do this thing.
Oh my gosh, don't do that. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, so next we have the fund of funds manager. So we mentioned earlier with Opal Equity, we got together and we did a fund of funds. So what that means is that we really, like, the strongest piece there was the capital raising. So it's like if you feel really good about raising capital, you still need some of the other pillars, but really what you're doing is you're bridging investors with really good opportunities. So you're not running the deal itself. You're sort of serving as this connecting piece in this bridge where you're bringing investors into an investment vehicle that then is putting money. You're kind of coming together as one check and it's going into a larger fund. So the focus here of a fund of funds is raising capital and vetting good quality deals. So finding operators who have been doing this a long time that it's rinse and repeat for them. As Carly said, not their first rodeo. They've delivered other deals, other investments. They've had returns. They've said, here's what the plan is. They've executed that. They have this track record, all of these things, right? And then you're taking investors and saying, hey, I found this opportunity. Come, let's invest together through this fund. And it's kind of this in between. It's There's definitely an uphill challenge up front because there's a lot of pieces to pull together and you're doing a lot with a capital raise. There's legal components where you're putting together investment documents, you're having investor conversations, you still need to understand lingo, you're doing some vetting, you know, or definitely doing vetting of these opportunities and, you know, before you're even finding them. So it's not like it's just this like straight and easy path. But once you get into that and you've closed that fund, it really is kind of just this plateau of like, now you just ride the deal. And when it exits, in an ideal world, you're paying out investors as expected, and then it closes and you're done. So you're really just kind of riding along behind, you know, whoever the lead sponsor is. It's their deal. You're managing your investors. The operations piece is much less. It's communication of whatever's happening with the deal. You're managing distributions, giving them their distributions, and managing
Stop it.
the
Stop it.
quarterly and annual like tax returns, K1s, things like that. So it's a really nice scalable approach to get into multifamily. And it's a way to be, especially if you're aspiring to be a GP, this is an amazing step to get started because you can start building the relationships both with like operators, GPs, investors, all of the different people, and understand a core piece of the process before you're taking on the full responsibility. It's like you're taking on this piece of this piece, right? And like understanding how it fits, how it works, being able to have sort of this hands-on but more passive approach with it. And then you can go on, you know, to then be more prepared for when you do become a GP. What you need to be a fund of funds manager. This one's a lot more accessible. You do need to make sure that you or someone on your team understands whatever it is you're investing into, right? Like they need to understand what those investments look like because you are the one that's responsible for now taking these opportunities and presenting them to investors. And you're telling them these are good opportunities that we believe in. Put your money here, right? So you need to know how to look at these deals and be able to answer their questions and believe that yourself before you are showing these to investors. So that's a really big piece there. Again, the capital raising pillar is a really strong one here. So you definitely need someone on your team, if not your full team, who likes to capital raise, has a skill set there. You don't necessarily need to have capital raised before, but you need to understand what that's going to look like and make sure that people shine in that, right? Like they're energized and their strength is going to pay to raising capital. If you have three people who are terrified to get on a phone that just want to hide behind a computer on a spreadsheet every day, you guys are really going to have a tough time raising money because you need to have those conversations. You have to be comfortable getting out there and being in front of people, right? And then basic back-end systems. So it does help. It's not necessary. It's not like you're running these large deals and you need all these pieces in place, but having things like a CRM, having some basic automations in place, having a central hub of like information, things that are secure, like an investor portal, are all really important for a fund of funds manager. And there are things you can partner with sometimes too with the operator. They might have additional systems they give you access to. It just depends on the relationship. But you do want to be somewhat organized with that because you are taking added responsibility by being a fund of funds manager and that you are collecting really secure information, right? Like when someone invests with you, they are giving you sensitive information. You are dealing with large wires, check wires. So that's why we do mention like there needs to at least be some sort of secure like backend systems and some comfort with setting those up or getting someone to set them up for you and you being able to use them. Let's see, I think that is kind of it with the fund of funds manager. It's definitely one of our favorites. We're a little biased because we've done that, but it is such a cool way to scale and to get into multifamily, much easier than being a GP. So we're a little biased, but we love it.
It is. That's what Opal Equity is doing right now. We would love to GP a deal. But we know that we want to not take on all the brunt and the responsibility. So we're raising funds for people where it is not their first rodeo. They've done lots and lots of stuff, and we can learn. We're big fans of earning while you're learning. So we are learning from our lead sponsor, our RGP, as we're doing this, and they take on the underwriting and they have the team and they take on that a lot of that responsibility. So this is something we will GP one day. It's just we're getting we're ascending up the mountain bit by bit. So
I'm
um
kind of a I'm kind of a weird scenario in that case.
you
I feel like
you
I'm
are
descending the mountain
you are ready.
because
That's true.
I've been a GP and I understand the hard work, and I hats off to everyone who aspires to be a GP or has been or is or whatever, because it is a lot of work. It's a lot of active role. And if you're kind of a lazy gal like me who loves their naps, but also wants to do fun things and build some wealth, I want to do things. Okay, if anyone's familiar with Clifton's strengths, if you're a maximizer, you understand this. Maximizing is like, how do I create the most efficiency? Like get the best result out of something. How do I create that? And this is for me maximizing my energy and my potential through fund of funds. That's why I said, okay, I know how to get a 30 unit, I know how to get a 40 unit, and I've been on that GP and I know the work that it takes. And personally, for me, I would rather learn from someone who is way ahead of the game and who has done literal billion with a B more than me. And I get to learn that way and ease into it and focus on my strengths, capital raising, networking, all these different things alongside a team. So I'm kind of like working my way down in a way, but I totally get everyone going in that other direction too.
And it's different things for each person. So
Yeah.
Karolyn started with a GP and she's coming doing a fund to funds, and maybe she wants a tax write-off. So she's going to be an LP. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to go from, like, there's no certain order, but
No,
by
not at
any
all.
means, like, you can go from one to another. It's nice to not go straight. Anyways, LP, which is limited partner. So you're more passive. So how many of you guys, it's the end of the year, how many of you guys are maybe possibly like high income earners and you're like, man, the tax man is going to take all my money. This is why a lot of people like being a limited partner, because they're like, listen, I got some money. I made $1 bajillion this year and I do not want to give it to the tax man. I want to legally not pay taxes in a very legal way, with legal with an L, not illegal. By the way, it's very legal. I want to point that out. We don't do illegal things here. Anyways, so what an LP might do, or limited partner, the GP is like the king of the castle and like running the show. And then the LP is like, hey, I don't know if I really want all this responsibility, but I have a ton of money and you have a ton of experience. And I got this other stuff going on over here, but I also don't want to pay tax. Some people do it because they don't want to pay taxes, or they don't want their money just to sit in a bank. They're like, well, I have $1 million. It could sit in a bank and earn 0.6% each year, or I could get a tax write-off and earn money with it. So that's why a lot of people like being a limited partner. Limited partner means limited responsibility. You're more of a passive investor. You're very hands-off. You got that GP that's not their first rodeo, and they're got their team and they're wheeling and dealing and they're making deals and they're understanding and operating that stuff. This is a great way also. I'm a huge fan of learning while you're earning. So this is a good way to learn also, especially if you have some money and you want a tax write-off. Um, we when we raise capital each quarter, we'll do updates. I know for some of our investors, we'll be like, hey, do you want to meet at the asset? We'll have an event for the weekend. We'll go tour the asset. We'll all get to know each other. Any questions you have, you can ask and we'll answer. So, depending on how involved, some people are like, I don't care, just take my money. And some people are like, I really, really want to learn. And I want to learn from people who are raising funds and then that operator who's doing billions of dollars of transactions. So this is a really great way, limited liability. And you're just like, take my money and make it multiply. Give me a tax write-off and give in the end of whenever it's done, 5 years or whatever, however they structure it. Um, It's great. So it's really benefit, especially people are looking like right now at the end of the year where they're like, people are really looking for like tax perks, cash flow, equity, depending on how they're structured. Um, so things to be a limited partner. So if I'm like, hey, I just made $1 bajillion and I don't want to pay taxes and I want to get some passive income while it's going. Well, the things that I would need if I were to be a little limited partner or a passive investor is a trustworthy deal. So that's where you might find people like Opal Equity or other funds of funds that have found us trustworthy deal sponsors that are vetting the sponsors and connecting you guys to things. So you need people that are raising capital like us or funds of funds or other people. Investment capital, you need that money. Usually it depends on each deal is different depending on sometimes there's a minimum investment. There's a few things just depending on how that specific deal is structured. Sometimes you have to be an accredited investor, which means we won't go down that. But there's two types of investors according to the law. There can be a passive or an accredited investor or an unaccredited, a non-accredited investor. Um, so you need your different depending on what the deal was. So investment of capital, you'll need the money, and then you need to know what to ask. You want to be like, don't be like, here, take my money. You're pretty cool. You seem cool. You do not want to do that. You definitely want to know, ask the right questions, see their experience, make sure that you're putting your money in with a great place and know the right questions to ask. Did I miss anything, Karolyn or Christy, on the LPs? How many of you
No,
guys feel like, where are you guys now in your investment journey? Like, are you thinking a lot of people like to start off with limited partners? Some people like to start with funds of funds. I want to know where you guys feel like you are. Um,
Drop numbers in the chat. So the first one we covered was GP, right? Super active. You're running the whole thing. You're owning, operating it. That's at the top. That would be the GP. A two is going to be the fund of funds. That's kind of like you're focusing on raising capital, you're pooling together investors, and then going and investing with people that are really good operators. And then the number three, drop a three if you're like LP all the way. I want to put my money to work. I don't need to stress out about all that stuff. Give me the tax benefits and let me go over here and focus on other things. So drop a one, two, or three in the
we
chat. I'm
have
seeing a good little mix.
we got
yeah.
Jennifer's gonna be a GP. I love that. Lee took our funds of funds formula and we are so pumped for him. He just closed. Have you closed it yet, Lee? He closed his, I don't remember how many units is it? Is he here?
128.
128 or something?
128.
128. So Lee is a GP. This is a real life GP right here. Did you close already?
Thanks to you guys.
Oh, you're so
Oh,
sweet. We
I
love
love
it. No,
that.
you
Learned
got
a
to give
lot.
yourself some credit too.
I learned a lot from you guys.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So and if he wants to go, he can now. He doesn't have if now that he's on the GP, he can go raise funds for other things, or he can be an LP and things. So, I love it, Gonka. I'm probably saying your name wrong. I'm sorry. She says I prefer two, but will aim three as I grow my wealth. I love it. Love it. Love
Exactly.
love it.
I love this. I'd say three to learn. That's right. That's like core of our heart because our, as I said before, like our tagline or motto, our belief is learn while you earn. So
Yes.
love that.
Yeah.
And I will say, we have a lot of friends, you guys, that have gone, they were like hardcore, I'm going the GP route, right? And Lee, close your, like, just cover yours for a minute here. And so they did. And similar to Karolyn, they went down and they were like, this is what I want to do. They got involved. They got a few deals under their belt. And there are several that I know that are like, oh my gosh, this is so hard, so exhausting, so stressful. They're like, all I want to do now is just be an LP. They're like, once these deals are done, I think my GP journey is ended and I'm just investing in everywhere else. So there's no wrong, my point is there's no wrong answer in any of this. Like it really is about finding the alignment of like your energy, your passion, what you're good at, what you want to be doing, how you want to live your life, to be able to identify which of these paths.
Yeah. Richard says, is there a specific course to learn about fund to fund? We have one. That's where Lee learned. It's the funds. I'll put it in the chat. It's called we called it the funds of funds. Is it fund of fund of?
Fund of funds formula. And it's just, but
There
the
it is.
website I promise is a little easier. It's just fundsformula.com.
There we go.
I
There it
haven't
is.
I haven't typed it. Thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
I can't type and talk at the same time, you
And
guys.
that's not, you know, the name's not our fault, guys. This is like blame our attorney, blame the attorneys, the ones that structured this thing in the first place. Like who names something a fund of fund? Like
That's
the
a lot of
amount
F's.
tongue twister and jumble mess.
More F's than I
come
say in
across
a
with
day.
that. Yeah,
And then there's
fund
like
of fund.
plural, and then there's singular, and then I don't know if it's a funds of a fund or anyways. So
Deanna's saying that's a lot of us. It really is.
it is a lot of F's. So, so those are three ways. We know you guys, it's the evening, it's getting late on the East Coast, but those are the ways you guys can get in to investing. So you can go do your own thing and be a GP like Lee and buy 128 units, or maybe you want to be like Opal Equity and be like, hey, we want to raise money for people where they know what they're doing. They've done billions of dollars of deals. Or maybe you want to be an LP where you're like, hey, I just want to invest with places like Opal Equity just to learn and dip my toe in the water and just like see what's going on and have the least amount of responsibility or liability, not um on that. And so with that, I'm sure you guys all know what you want to be where you guys resonate, but
When you grow up.
when you grow up, I feel like you already know because you put it in the chat, but this is a labor of love, you guys. Let me tell you about this quiz. The quiz is a four-letter word to me right now because it took us all of us
Quiz. It's a
working on
four-letter
this.
word.
It is a four-letter word.
It is a literal on every level of it being. We made this quiz and it looks very easy and straightforward, but anyways, it's not, but it works. So if you guys want to take your own quiz, we have this little quiz where you're like, I prefer this or this or this or this. You'll see it in hey, can you put it in the chat thing? Look at Carolyn on top of it.
On it.
I
So
can't
yeah,
talk and type at the same time.
it's
doesn't
pretty
work.
quick, you guys. It's like, I don't know, 6, 7 questions or something. It's nothing crazy, but it's going to walk you through to help you identify like what do you want? What do you like? What are you attracted to? What's
Just give you a little bit more
plays to your
clarity.
strengths? Yeah, it just gives you that clarity. Even if you already know what path, I recommend taking it because we are giving you guys some action steps that go with the path.
Mm-hmm.
And in the background, we have a lot of fun stuff we've been working on that we're going to continue to work on. And if you do the quiz, then we can help and provide and make sure you're getting the relevant resources. And as we're putting together new guides and all of these things, because we're really passionate again about like that education piece, we can share them with you. So it's hard to share them with you if we don't know which path you're on. We don't want to just like inundate you with all the stuff, right? We can help keep things relevant with what we're sharing. So if you go and take that quiz, you'll get a few action items at the end. And more importantly, in the future, as we're rolling more stuff out, you'll also get those as well.
I have a quick question. This is for myself. So remember in here when I was talking to you guys about number 3, the curiosity to ask the right questions, would you guys be interested in like a little checklist of all the things as an LP, the things you should be asking the lead sponsor? Is that something, because that's something we are always working on fun little things like that. And if you guys have any ideas, like I wish I really would have I wish I had a checklist for this or something. It sounds like you guys would love that. I think
Cool.
that's something we're going to try to work on. But if you guys have anything and you're like, I really wish I had a checklist for this or I did this, let us know because we're all about bringing value to you guys and educating you guys. It's earning and learning. We're huge on the education piece. So
Yes, I have been working for months on a vetting guide, you guys. This thing is already 50 pages, so I'm trying to figure out a way to make it like palatable.
50?
Yeah, it's like over 50 pages.
That's amazing.
Because it goes into all the different categories. It goes into different questions within each, so you could drill down depending. It's not like you should ask every single one of these on a deal, you guys, but it's so that you can learn or start to identify red flags, all of the things. but it's just a matter of like how, and I'm like trying to build in things too, so that you can use AI to help with prompts and stuff as you're going through and vetting things. So it's like, it's expansive, but we're trying to drill it down and make it like easier to use
Easy.
tools. That's kind of what Carly is saying too, with like, if we have more simple checklists that are pairing in these things. So, yeah, anything you guys want to know, let us know so that we can make sure that we're spending our time on the things that are actually helpful and that you actually want.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for us? Was that clear as mud? I hope it was crystal clear for you guys.
I think it was clearer than mud, maybe like a puddle.
Let's see. Oh, Deanna says, how can we support and serve you guys? Just
What a love language.
what that is, whatever, let us know how we can help you. Share our stuff. When we decided, a lot of people just decide to raise capital, and that's fine. But when we decided to raise capital, we're like, we want to take others along with us, because on our first fund to fund, you guys, it was like, hey, do you want to do this? And we were like, yes. And then we literally had 45 seconds. It felt like 45 seconds to like get branding and figure things out. And we were, we had our lead sponsor who was helpful, but like there was no course, or like we were kind of just figuring it out. And so we're like, God, wouldn't that be cool if we had something, so we're huge on the education piece. If anybody wants to learn anything, let us know. So, sir, how can you support us? Just share our stuff so other people can learn.
Yeah. When we're having these Zooms, invite a friend, share your
Yeah.
registration link, post it on your stories.
Sharing is caring.
Take a screenshot or a video while we're doing these and talk about it, post it somewhere and say what you've learned, so people know that stuff like this is out there. If you think it's helpful, if you don't, don't refer us, but if you've learned something, then help
Give us
share that
feedback
message.
regardless.
Yeah. Those are all ways that would be amazing.
I am all for constructive criticism, whether you have something good to say, if you have something not nice to say, we'll be open to hearing it. But but I don't think anybody's going to do that. But absolutely open to feedback, because this is how we improve, this is how we get better and deliver the resources and education and value that all of you are looking for on your own respective journeys. So absolutely. Thank you so much for asking that question, Deanna, because that means the world to us when like there's literal 45 of you here with us on a Thursday night, just soaking up what you can and hopefully getting a little bit more clarity, a little bit closer to that role and alignment of where you want to go. Because we have two and a half months left of 2025, and we are on to 2026, and it feels when you're an entrepreneur or in this world of whatever, the years go by so quickly, and you just think in quarters, and it's like, oh, it's already Q1, really. Like, I'm already thinking of next year and what we're doing. By the way, we have so much planned for next year. It's so exciting. But, yes.
Anna has a great question. Is there a referral link we can send friends who want to invest? So right here, it's a QR code, or can someone type it in? Because I can't type and talk at the same time. The opalfund.com/meet. And if we don't, we should have someone say who referred you to us so we can say thank you. So, if we don't have that yet, let us know who you send over, Anna, so we can, we can say thank you. But if you guys know, that's another thing. If you guys know anybody that wants to invest, there's this old saying, always be capital raising, always be raising money. Because you don't want to start capital raising when you find a deal, you want to start. So we're always raising. If anybody wants to book a call with us, to invest with us, we would appreciate that. So thank you for asking that, Anna.
And it's funny because in the chat we have, I don't want to butcher your name. Is it Nanette? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but she's saying
you got it right.
I did? Okay. So she said, I think, Carly, you were on the same wavelength, because she said, most capital raisers always say, begin raising capital early. Don't wait until the need is urgent. Without a deal in hand, securing funding becomes exponentially harder. So true. And that's where I think it's confusing. I was confused about this at first. You hear they say, the best time to raise is when you don't have a deal. And before I started raising capital, it was really hard for me to wrap my head around that. So I was like, wait, But how? Well, like, what do you talk about? How do you talk about, if you don't have a deal, what are you talking about in these to like raise capital? And all that it means is that you're not technically raising capital. You're not asking people for money and to send in checks, but you're talking about the kinds of things you invest in. And really, most of the conversations, at least in our experience, is about the basics of multifamily and understanding those types of investments and the benefits and taxes and depreciation and all of these things that are generic that are going to apply to whatever deal it is that you get into. So it's really more of a nurturing process where you're building the trust and answering the questions before the deal is there. So they're excited and they know multifamily is a good fit for them. They understand, they know what to kind of expect, they know what's going to happen. Now they're just waiting. And guess what? A few months later, it's like, oh my gosh, here's an opportunity. They're ready. They're like, okay, give me the information. I'm wiring my check. Right? Like that's what it means to the best time to raise is when you don't have a deal. Because when you do, and you're in a time crunch, like Carly said, especially if you're doing a fund of funds, there's not advance notice on fund of funds. It's like the lead sponsor is like, hey, we got something under contract. We have 30 to 60 days to close. Who's with us and wants to do a fund of funds, right? And so you have that period of time that you're then all hands on deck, raising capital, putting together your own fund to then go into this one. And it's a lot. It's a lot. So you don't want to be having your first conversations during that. It's much better when you already know the people who are on the sidelines waiting and that they're excited and ready. So you can be like, hey, this is what's coming. We don't have the paperwork yet. It's coming, but like, is this the right fit or whatever? You know, it's like you're not building your list of interest there. So you had a question at the end of that said, what do you say when the person asks you to forward them your deal that needs funding? So what exactly did you mean by that question?
I think you just answered it earlier from saying that it's by the time you get the deal, that's actually they're ready to fund you.
Right.
Got it.
Like,
So well, it's basically a general question, or general, it's nurturing. You're basically just nurturing the person.
that's a great question. I think, I mean, I've personally overthought it, Christy. Like we all have this like like mental freeze moment of like, I don't have an actual physical deal to present, so I'm illegitimate. Like I'm not real. I don't know how to approach this, and people aren't going to take me seriously. But looking back on my own personal experience, when I first crossed over into multifamily and I knew nothing, and I was actively learning every single day and like trial and error, we were just showing up online. We were just showing up on YouTube. We were showing up on Instagram, on Facebook, and like our communities, and just like we are in the learning process. We are actively live learning. You can come learn along with us and like have us like we're figuring it out live. And that in its own right, like really built a lot of buzz and interest and intrigue and education at the same time, because we were like kind of the only ones just like kind of putting it out there. We were afraid, but we were getting over that visibility of like, okay, we're being seen and we know nothing. And so by doing that, we built up like, this is what we're going towards. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're underwriting. And we slowly developed that buy box and like what we were marketing towards. And then that's how we got deals sent to us. And that's how we closed our deals. So it's like, it doesn't have to be this perfectly lined out. And this is coming from someone who will like perfect something to the T and then redo it the next day. Take it from me, like just try to take a step before making sure all of your laces are tied up. You know what I mean? Like not everything has to be this perfect buy box and everything. It does help and it does increase your credibility, and who that also plays into like who exactly is your target investor, which is a whole nother topic I think we should get into at some point. But it really does help. Like you don't have to have every single thing fleshed out. Just build that idea, keep it rolling and gauge interest from the people already in your network and what they're looking at too. And that will help you.
Dallas has her hand raised.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Nonette has a question in the chat too. We'll go to that. Dallas, what you got? Where'd she go?
Hi.
There she is.
Um, I just wanna ask, for now, you mentioned that you just raising capital for other people deals, is
Yes,
right? Or
we will
so,
eventually do our own, but right now, yes, we're raising.
oh, okay. So if I decide like join in a deal to with you and I put capital, so I gonna be able to learn because you know are like in charge of the deal. It's just you raising the capital. I gonna be able to learn like
Yeah. So
see?
we'll learn. Are you asking for you to raise capital? You raise capital for
No,
someone to
no,
learn?
no. If I have a capital and I wanna invest
Got it.
in the number three that so I can
Oh,
learn. But
yes,
right now you don't have any deal that you're doing
we
you
do.
guys.
We
Oh,
do.
you
We
have
are raising. If you let me drop it in there. If you have capital and you want to invest with us, we do have something. It's the opalfund.com/meet. And if you have something, you can fill out this form and then it'll take you to a place to schedule a call with us. So we do have something right now.
oh okay.
Yes. We
Oh
actually
okay.
had something really cool come up because we had an investor who was so happy with a
Yeah.
fund that we did last year. And they were like, this is doing really well. We want to do another investment this year. And I was like, I don't really know if we can do that, but because we're a fund to fund, so it's very different. Like you're investing into a parent deal, right? So it's like, it depends. Is there room? Is there capital? Like all of these things. So anyhow, we communicated with the lead sponsor and there was an opportunity. So we were able to allow them to make a second contribution. They chose to invest again this year. And in doing that, we found out that there is a little bit more, like we could still bring some in. So it's a really cool deal. Beautiful deal. So anyway, if anyone is interested, we were stoked that like there's that. There was also questions in the chat, like, are we looking for other opportunities? We are. We are very picky because we vet a lot and we're looking for people who have like a decade of experience in these assets. Like they are very high level experienced operators. So if those are the kinds of relationships or the people or the opportunities, then those are the ones we're considering right now in terms of a fund of funds, because again, we are in the boat currently of we want to be effective with our time, deliver the most value. And right now, the fund of funds is the best way for us to do that. As Carly said, I have no doubt, like we are for sure going to move to the GP track at some point. But for now, for where we are as a team and as individuals, the fund of funds is the most powerful for us and the one that we can kind of rinse and repeat and scale. And then we can kind of switch gears with what we're doing. So we're excited about that. So yeah, if there are opportunities, you come across something, you know someone, we're always grateful for introductions to other operators. So those are things we're looking for as well.
Yes. And Michael said, do you guys have a team that Michael and Gonka, I'm probably butchering your name, I'm sorry. Says, do you have a team that goes out and find multifamily deals? Not really. Not as Opal Equity. I have a wholesaling team, and sometimes if multifamily comes to me, I might bring it to these gals and be like, what do you think? But we don't have a team that goes out to find multifamily deals because we're not buying right now. We're mostly raising. That's going to be down the next pipeline. And then she asks, multifamily only. Yes, for Opal Equity. I do single family stuff, but that's outside of Opal Equity. That's with the building and empire stuff. So as Opal Equity, we only raise for multifamily. But you guys have some great questions.
I think I saw Gonka. I hope, please let me know if we're butchering your name or how to pronounce that correct. Hi, I saw you raise your hand earlier when we were going over slides, and I know you put it down. So I wanted to make sure that, did we answer your question, or do you still have a looming
You
question?
did. I'm very, very new. I mean, when I say I'm new, it's been about 6 weeks, but I'm doing all the training videos. Being a recovering engineer, I'm very analytically crippled.
That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
It's a great
Fine
thing.
It's a
engineer.
great thing.
Yeah, so I have an extensive background, very strong background, and strong personality too. But anyway, so I'm a chemical engineer. I've done technical sales, managed customer service department, did a lot of things from plant management to whatever you can imagine. Oh, I ended up selling Hondas last year. I went to a car dealership to buy a car and they offered me a job. So I did that for 1
Did you do well? Car business is tough. I used to
I
work
was
in the
a
car
top sales
business.
rep for several months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong
But
personality. I love it.
There's
right.
probably not
So,
there's probably a reason you're not there anymore. That's a
and
tough line of
I'm not a
business.
car person. That's why I
Yeah.
really have no interest in cars. I
Yeah.
only did well because I'm great with connecting with people. So when it comes to, Pace Morby program, I'm a gator. I don't have a problem calling real estate agents, talking to them, whatever. It's not a big deal for me, or talking to other people. It's just that and I also have fix and flip experience. I did two with my own means, and I did really well with them. I did them as a hobby. Long story short, so what I did recently, because I'm getting impatient, so I haven't done my first deal yet. But a part of me keeps telling myself, "Hey, keep doing these videos." But there are so many of them. I don't know when the heck they're gonna end. I'm barely at the end of
They'll
Gator
never end.
1.0,
They never will end
So,
if it's a Pace
right?
product.
And I'm really very straight arrow. I don't do shady games. I'm very strict, type A crazy woman. Anyway, so I called this realtor who sold my house a couple of years ago because I built trust. I saw how she works, and I'm, like I said, I'm very picky. So I told her, hey, I'm now doing this, but she's a residential and I'm not into single family homes yet. So I got a referral through her for a commercial broker who ended up second generation commercial broker. So I convinced her, I connected her really well. We talked a few times. Now she's going to send me pre-listings, before they put it on the market, which is awesome. She already sent me one, but I honestly don't even know what to do with it. Because it's not a multifamily. I'm really mainly interested in getting into multifamily, and I really don't want to do the managing part. But I have no penny to invest right now. For whatever reasons, I lost all my money. Long story short, I was pretty much going to talk to you about the first conversation you guys had, but you did answer my question. So my whole thing is, it's hard to find people that you can trust. Everybody talks a big game,
Yes. That's so true. Yes.
Right. And you need to see with action. And, even multifamily stuff, I know for a fact I'm going to get good deals. I don't have a problem finding deals. It's just that how do you know they are experienced? Because I need to work with people who are experienced in that field. I don't have multifamily experience. Does that make sense?
I think,
Absolutely.
Christy, we need to drop that questionnaire guide. Christy's got sitting on 50 pages of answers to the question that you just asked. We have something cooking.
And ladies, do you
Come
know
on.
what? I am the gal who's gonna read all 50 damn pages.
Good.
It's that bad.
And report
Yes.
back.
I
Yes.
love it.
Love it.
Right.
Yes.
Linda's raising her hand.
Anyway,
She's
that's
She's
why
waving
I
by. She
raised
said
she's
my
waving.
hand. That was my main question.
reading
Yeah.
material.
Well, good. I love getting to know you guys here. I know it's getting late and some people have to jump, but I really encourage you guys to register for our networking Zoom. We have it once a month. You're kind of a big deal. It's www.theopalfund.com/events. And then if you're on our email list, you'll get it. But I want to get to know you guys. There's some new faces here. Great questions.
Yeah.
Some faces that I recognize, like Ray and Paula V and Deanna.
Kathy
So
was
many,
here.
but new
Ito
people.
was here.
Yes, Ito's here. Lee, Jose. So we'd love to get to know you guys and just network with you guys. We do it once a month. We could do this. Well, I could do this all night. This is so
I
much fun.
know.
But I know people
Yeah.
have things they have to do. I hope you guys found this valuable, and you guys got a lot out of it. And we're super, super focused on helping people. Like we're not going to, you know, just giving value and showing you guys, because I want to point out what Gonka just said. There are a lot of people out there that have no idea what they're doing. And there's a lot of not trustworthy people out there. Being in the Gator community, if you guys are Gators, there's a lot. Do the safety semester. I think we could even go a little bit deeper on that. There's a lot, and I want first things first. Always be safe and know the questions to ask and how to vet people. So if I could leave you with one nugget of information, don't just be like, oh, well, I saw so and so on a Zoom and they like their personality and they're really fun. So have $100,000, you know. But we want you guys to be safe too.
Yeah.
And
And
learn.
we know everyone gets FOMO, right? Like, oh, like she said, oh, like I'm getting impatient. I want to do my first deal and I want to put my, like, I just want the proof of concept. But sometimes you have to pay even more for wanting that proof of concept because you're so eager. So I am about the, like, a little bit of the JOMO, the joy of missing out sometimes
Love
because
that. I'm keeping that.
we gotta pace ourselves a little bit. We gotta learn. We gotta, you know, we gotta pick up things from different people and who we align with. Has no one ever heard that before? I think that's a thing.
No,
I love when you
it.
drop some of these things.
So very quickly, I'll say my name. It's Gonca.
Oh,
I'm
we
originally
were way
Turkish.
off.
I'm originally Turkish. I lived in California for 26 years. So my neighbors used to have a nickname for me, Conchita, because there's
Oh,
a
like
lot
a
of,
seashell?
Spanish speaking people, Conchita. And then when I was working as a program manager, engineer, the customers gave me the nickname, the Gonjinator.
The
I love that.
Gonjinator!
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
for more than 20 years now, my nickname, that Gonjinator, stuck with me. All my emails are always like Gonjinator at AOL, Gonjinator
God,
at
I love
Gmail,
it.
whatever. So yeah, Gonjinator, one Gonjinator in the world. I'm telling you that.
We're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that going.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know because
Yes.
we will always remember that now.
Yes.
Awesome.
Omar has a quick question for us, Omar. What you got for us? Sometimes.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So how much would I have to, if I have somebody from my company that want to invest in with you ladies, how much do you have to put in?
How much is our minimum? Is that what you're
Yes.
asking?
Yes.
$50,000. Isn't it 50,000?
Yeah, it's 50.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'll mention that to them.
yeah, let them know. And if you want to, Christy, I'll do that tonight. Do we have a referral person who referred us so we can say thank you and we know on our meet form? We should probably get that.
Oh, on like when you book a call?
Yeah.
I don't think we do, but we could add that.
We'll add
on
that.
When you put your
So-
info, they can,
We'll send an email with the
Yeah, that'll
replay
be
and the
good.
slides and
Yeah.
all these links. So if you have someone that's interested and you want to refer it, we'll put it in here, but we'll also send you guys an email. So
Okay, thank you for that.
yeah,
Amazing.
and maybe you can ask them, be like, "Can I hop along and learn while you
Yeah.
learn?"
Yeah, because
So,
my sister's gonna lend me like 10 grand.
yeah,
So pretty much to join sub too, because she thought Pace was a scam,
I
just
did
like my
too.
girl. Just like my girl, she still think he's a scam. I'm like, well, my sister did the research last week, and she Googled something, and she found that his house, and she thought now she's like, oh, I do want to invest, join sub too. I was like, I told you it's not a scam. You just,
I thought he was too.
I did too.
My husband joined. He's
Yeah.
He's definitely not. I'm 3 years into him in his community, so yeah.
So my
Well,
sister now wants to join in. So,
I mean,
yeah.
but okay.
he was actually a partner on our 30 unit way back when.
Who was Omar?
No, Pace.
No,
Oh,
Pace.
Pace.
I was like, what?
Yes. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. So yeah, we got to learn the ropes that way, and that was a big proof of concept there. But yeah,
Yeah.
good deal.
So
Thank you for the question.
Thank
Yeah.
you, ladies.
yeah,
course.
thank you for being here.
No biggie. I'm just driving. Sorry.
Yes, that's
Well,
okay. We love
That's the
it.
reason that's
Just
the reason I
don't
turned
look
my
at the
camera. I don't.
screen.
yeah.
Be
If
safe.
you're at a
Chrissy
stop
will
sign,
yell at you. She's like, when I'm in the car driving, she's like, turn off your camera. Don't look at the screen. Eyes on the road. Seatbelt on. So don't let Christy
Yeah.
seeing you looking at her.
yes, thank
She'll
you.
fight you.
Alrighty, ladies. I'll turn my camera off. I don't want no problems.
Thanks for being here,
Thank you.
Omar. Paula V, how are you, my friend?
Right. Sorry, I got on late because I couldn't find your link. It was coming through the text message. I didn't have it in my calendar.
Oh
And
dear.
then Curtis Race came up, so I thought maybe you sent it for that one.
For what? Oh, but you're
But-
here, so that's good.
But anyways, I wanted to ask you, it's a dumb question. I'm not that good at the lately. I
No
have
dumb
gone
questions.
bad with the media. How do I save this? I mean, I'm saving chats and things so I can go through.
We're gonna send you a replay. How about that?
Oh, that will work
Will
out.
that work?
Yes.
Can we send you a replay so you don't have to like
Okay, because I
figure?
don't.
I don't think you can save it from here. We'll send you guys a replay
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
just
Once
for
we get
you.
the Zoom uploaded and all finished, we will send out the replay
Uh-huh.
link so you can
Oh, all
rewatch.
right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll send
It'll
this
probably
slides.
be, it'll likely be, give us a few days. Sometimes our goal is we do like to do it the next day if we can, but there are a lot of things
Yeah.
that go into that. So sometimes it is a little longer. So
I have to jump on a Zoom with Pace tonight, so maybe if I have time, I'll do it tonight. I'll upload
Oh
it.
my God, you still have a Zoom to do tonight again?
I've been
Okay.
on a Zoom already with him. This man Zooms forever.
He lives on Zoom.
We love Zoom. We love Zoom.
Thank
Any other
you.
questions? Oh, sorry, Karolyn.
No, I was saying thank you, and I was gonna ask any other
Thank you.
final questions.
You
question.
there too,
What?
but I will be seeing you there too
Yes.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, won't see you, but
We'll see you.
You're
I
gonna
will
Zoom
hear
up.
your name now and then.
Yes.
I love that.
Well, thanks for being
Alright,
here.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night. You guys,
Good
thank
night.
you. I don't think you understand how much it means to us. I don't know. I can't speak for Christy or Karolyn, but every time we come to these, I'm like, oh my God, does anyone even care? Is anyone even gonna show up? And so for you guys just to show up and want to learn from us
Will
fills
you
our cup. And
the-
thank you for letting us teach you and being here and asking great questions. And I get to see new faces and old faces. So
I know we're like at the very end and a lot of people dropped off, but if anyone wants to turn on their camera and we can grab a screenshot of our amazing evening with all of you.
yes,
I'm
we
sure you're,
like
"Oh
to
my God, look
do
at
a
you, thank
screenshot and then
you."
tag everyone. So if
cannot-
you
right?
don't want to be on the thing, then don't turn on your camera. But we used to do this all the time on our Funds of Funds formula class, and we'd post it. Remember that?
Yeah.
For
Mhm.
old time's sake. Okay, here we go.
It's a FaceTime? No.
It's not a FaceTime. No, I'll
It's
just take a
it's just
screenshot.
a smile.
Everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Say cheeseburgers.
Yes.
There we go.
Cheeseburgers.
That's what I always tell my girls to say. I'll post this on the internets. Try to tag all you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys. We're so honored you're here. Thank you for being here.
you.
And it's so good to see
Thank you,
so many faces and meet
everyone.
new ones. Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
We'll send out the
Bye.
Thank you.
replay and we'll
See you
probably
in a couple
post-
weeks and take our quiz.
Yes.
Alrighty, well, good night.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. See you next time.